I'm always worried now because the RTX does do a lot of filtering out, but I got a clap in there.
You're good.
Oh yeah, you're running the RTX, aren't you?
It's funky.
I want to mess with that, but I'm tech stupid.
Someone's mowing outside. Like, multiple people are mowing outside.
I can't hear it.
Nope, can't hear shit.
I couldn't hear Charlotte when you were talking about holding your thing up.
Yeah, I'm realizing I thought I was going to have a little gag in there, but then Charlotte didn't actually say anything because her story doesn't actually involve her talking much. Not as much as I thought it did. I'm finding it out, though. Failed test.
All right. Well, folks, let's do an episode of podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Video Game Choo Choo podcast. We are on episode 310 of the show. Holy shit. We're 90 episodes away from 400, which I know that sounds like a lot, but it's gonna fly by. Like, it doesn't even feel like it's been 10 weeks since episode 300. So it's gonna keep coming. It's gonna keep going, and time just slips through our fingers like grains of sand. For real. Folks,
Wow, that's really deep, John.
That's not at all. Not at all. But folks, I'm John.
Oh.
And I'm just saying shit that like they probably said in like 300 movies. I don't fucking know. So when you're here, hello.
Hello. I'm really excited for episode number 327.
What's your prediction?
That one's going to be a special one.
What's your prediction for 327?
Episode 327, when it's 3 cubed, 3 times 3 times 3, I think it's going to be... I think it's going to be a very triangular episode, and we're just going to kind of have like a bit where we go off about triangle YouTube for a while.
You know,
Triangle YouTube.
And triangles are the most powerful force in the universe. That's why they're shaped that way. That's why the pool thing is set that way.
You know, I did just run the numbers in my head, and that is absolutely not 3 times 3 times 3. That would be like 27, not 327. Wait, okay, so no, wait, kinda. Okay,
There you go. You figured it out.
I mean,
Got there.
it'd be like 300 plus 3 squared, which is kind of very triangular. So you know what?
It's a nice number.
It is a nice number. We can stand by that.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds fine. We'll have to have only 3 people on the show that time, but this time we have 4. We have Chris on as well.
Hey guys, I'm here, and I'm excited to talk about video games.
You better be, because that's what this podcast is about.
I mean, that's what us gamers do, right?
We do. We do.
We game and we talk about video games. Very fulfilling lives.
Yeah, and there's Walker talking about games right now.
Yeah, hello. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has. Walker, what do you predict for... choose an episode of the podcast to predict what it'll be like in the future.
Well, it's hard to make predictions right now, isn't it? I'm gonna say that for 333, we're gonna make like a strange theological deconstruction of Xenosaga because the Trinity, maybe.
Yeah.
I respect that. Chris, I forgot to ask you yours. What are you predicting for a future episode of Chooch?
Episode 352 is going to be 4 hours long and just talking about Final Fantasy VII Part 2, which is literally just like 2 hours long, but we have to talk about it for like 4 hours because, you know.
I think that's a bit too soon for there to be a new Final Fantasy VII.
No, they're going to release it in shorter chunks now.
That's right. They are.
Yeah.
It's going to be like just a couple chapters, and we're going to talk about it for like 5 hours because it's going to be like, wow, did you see that part when Cloud like found a small beanie on the ground and he like picked it up and dusted it off and put it on, and then you could like turn the beanie cap on or off in the menus? It was nuts. That was just groundbreaking stuff.
Is it a beanie or is it a Yankee with no brim? Is Cloud gonna have the Yankee with no brim like just on top of his spiked hair, like just on one of the spikes? He'll be like,
The Midgar Yankees.
yeah, he'll be like, impressive. It's a Yankee, but it doesn't have a brim.
And Barrett's gonna go, yo! Oh,
Let me get a look around this hat. Yeah.
And Aerith is going to be, holy shit, you look like a loser in a hat.
And then
be nice, Aerith.
No, you look like a dork.
no, here's what would happen. Cloud would find the Yankee with no brim, and he would have like his like headache flashback where he would see Sephiroth. Like he would be wearing the Yankee, and Sephiroth would be looking at it, and he'd just be like, "Cloud, impressive. The Yankee with no brim." Like,
Holy shit!
God.
Yeah, I'm
what
seeing
would
it right now.
that's what would happen.
Then Aerith would be like, actually, you should wear this, and hand him a Fortnite cap because she's a gamer.
That's true. yeah.
Gamer girl.
No, she would. Again, as we previously stated, she's more into retro games, so she would probably have one of those like raised on the classic shirt with the NES controller on it.
Yes.
That's what she'd give him. Absolutely.
But we're talking about hats, not shirts.
I mean, it could be a hat too. Yeah, you know, you could fit that on a hat, with or without brim.
So we're talking about predictions for future Chooch episodes because we're getting in prediction season.
Right.
It's about to be that time of the year where we do like E3 predictions, but we don't really have an E3 to predict on. Mm-hmm. And so we're kind of just taking what we can. But Keeley, our Lord and Savior of video game events, Jeff Keeley, gave us some good news this week, right?
That Dorito Pope giving us 3 months of madness.
Yeah, he's blessing us, quote unquote. I'm not gonna actually say that he's blessing us with anything, but he is giving us some semblance of normalcy in these trying times. So since E3 and technically GDC and well, GDC got delayed, I guess, but I think it's also just going to be online, as well as Gamescom, which is also just going to be online. All got fucked up because of the virus. Keeley has stepped in with his intense power, and he's grasped his hands together and unleashed a shockwave across the community, and announced the Game Festival Summer Game Fest. That's what it's called, Summer Game Fest. That he did not fully explain what it is, but according to him, there will be from May to August some form of events where there will be news, which I guess will just be like what was going to get announced at E3, but spread out more. Some in-game events, which I guess means that like maybe Fortnite and other like online games, you know, like stuff that you play pretty consistently, like I would guess maybe like Overwatch or some shit, and like Valorant.
Yeah.
Some
And also-
really, really super detailed Final Fantasy XIV MMO that's just Jeff Keeley.
God, I would pay money. I would start a Final Fantasy XIV account.
Jeff Keeley is a sexy bunny.
Yeah, I would start a Final Fantasy XIV account just so I could go in and like see Jeff Keeley as a Final Fantasy XIV character presenting like updates for Final Fantasy XIV. I would want to see that. That would be the best shit in the world. Especially if he doesn't, he needs to play as just, I don't know if they're just called humans in there, but like I want him to just be the most generic human. I want his character to look exactly like him. I want them to just make him a fucking like little like BizCaz suit. I need that in my life. I need just Final Fantasy XIV Keeley presenting something in Final Fantasy XIV.
The funny thing about that is if you had a perfectly recreated human freaking Jeff Keeley in that game, it would still be more like creative and exciting looking than the default character they use for all the trailers.
Oh yeah, the like scowly dude with black hair.
Yes, their
The
canon
most
warrior of
boring
light.
dude.
The most boring character design of all time.
Yeah.
I remember when I was editing the Game of the Year videos and I had to look up Final Fantasy XIV footage. That dude is like, I almost don't believe he's a real character. Like, you'd have to try to make someone that boring.
It's the most generic NPC they could have possibly made. The canon warrior of light for all their trailers is like the worst.
So apparently there's going to be all that stuff. Here's a list of the developers and publishers that are involved. We got 2K.
Oh, here we go.
2K, we got Activision, we got Bandai Namco, we got Bethesda, Blizzard, Bungie, CD Projekt Red, Digital Extremes, Electronic Arts, Microsoft, Private Division, whatever the fuck that is, Riot Games, Sony, Square Enix, Valve, and Warner Brothers.
Yeah, Private Division did Outer Worlds. They're a publisher for the Outer Worlds, and they've got a new MMO thing coming out that I wrote about in the PAX East write-up that I did, but also it has the most generic name ever, and I've forgotten it. It's like Vengerager.
Sure.
The
I was going to say
Brutalizer.
Valorant, but that's
That's the Riot game. Yeah, so they're just gonna have digital events that are gonna be on like Mixer and Twitch and all the streaming shit. No idea what they're going to be showing. They didn't say like what is going to be actually shown. It just says like, hey, there's just going to be these events from May to August at some points. They also said that Steam, Xbox, and quote other unspecified platforms will have, again quote, playable limited time demos and trials of select game content. So I guess they're just going to like put the E3 demos up on storefronts.
Cool.
That sounds pretty normal.
Yeah. There will also be a Valve and Keighley organized Steam Game Festival from June 9th to the 14th, which is basically when E3 was going to be. And then it will all end on August 24th with Gamescom Opening Night Live, which Keighley was also always set up to head that. He was in charge of the Gamescom Opening Night thing before that was, shut down. So now he's just going to do it online. And I don't know. I don't know how else they're gonna. I don't know how else they're gonna do Gamescom online, but they'll do it. So
A virtual conferencing kind of stuff that all makes sense, and it's something that really should have been around way before now. I mean, I've done it with Indie 3 before, and that was a lot of fun. But I have this image, and I know that it's not like this. Jeff Keighley, worked really hard to set all this up, I'm sure. But I've just got this image in my head because the way he tweeted this out was on like a notepad app. Like he was admitting like he had said something bad on a live stream or something, or he was like trying to apologize on his YouTube channel. He just kind of wrote it out.
Yeah, it was absolutely a call out post response tweet for some reason.
Yeah, it's just in his like notepad app on his phone, and I'm just imagining him like really late at night being like so mad that he can't do any of these events that he wanted to go do, and he's like his heart is breaking, and so he's just like sweating in his armchair that's shaped like the Game of Thrones throne, and he's just like, ugh, and then he just exclaims in the middle of like it's like 3 a.m, and he's got on another Mountain Dew binger, and he's just like, "The Summer of Keighley! It's the Summer of Keighley!" And he just starts writing in his phone. Frantic man.
I'm just imagining.
I think that's what happened.
I'm just imagining him calling all these game companies like CEOs and being like, "Listen, you motherfuckers! When I say jump, you jump! You're gonna put demos up on Steam, or else."
Oh yeah, like he's definitely not asking permission. He's gonna like put this out and then ask for forgiveness afterwards.
Yeah, for real. Like, yeah, Riot's involved with this. You're involved with this, WB. You're revealing that fucking Batman game, WB.
It's my scoop.
This is the summer event of a lifetime.
It's the summer of Jeff Keighley. I do not have an ego, but, I mean, what else are we going to call it?
He's just like, he's putting his phone up against a gun and cocking the trigger. Like, he's just like, post it.
Against the speaker.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna break fucking social distancing to put a cap in your ass if you're not releasing these trailers.
When did he become like the central games press dude?
He's been that for a long time. With the Game Awards, it kind of became the joke. and then continued to be the joke until now it's forever going to be the joke.
Basically what happened was he was one of the first, like, presenters of video game stuff on TV, because he was, like, the original host of what eventually became X-Play, and then he stayed in that business, because, you know, like, Sessler and Morgan Webb went off to do their own things, and then, like, you know, a lot of the, like, people from Attack of the Show and all those other G4 things just went off to different shit. But Keighley stayed in games and focused on doing presentations, and then he did the Game Awards, and that just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And so he's basically just, like, the guy who has experience being a host. Like, that is his thing. Yeah. It's just, he actually had enough experience being a host to be put in charge of these things. And, you know, it's a good quality to have, I guess. You know, it's good that he's, like, he is a good host. He is good at what he does. And obviously, video game presentations, video game trailer fests, you know, E3, it is very stupid. Like, I enjoy watching E3, I enjoy the pomp and circumstance, but it's also extremely stupid. It is sitting down to watch commercials and have marketers sell stuff to you. It is very, very stupid. But...
And then we judge them extra hard because of what it is. Like, that's all part of the fun.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things. Keighley knows his place, and his place is to be the cheerleader for games and the companies and people that make them. Like, if he were writing about news, I'd never take anything he takes seriously because he's too close with all those people. I mean, he is literally in love with Kojima sometimes, but when it comes to being a cheerleader, and that's what his shows are. They are
he advocates.
They are not there to, like, tell you the news. They are there to sell you games and tell you that he's friends with all these cool people and he wants to make them as cool to everyone as they are to him.
You're right, but on the other side of the coin, he does actually do pretty good journalism when he does do it. Like, if you look at those, like, final hours pieces, all of those are really, really good, and he actually, like, digs in. Like, when Valve announced Half-Life Alyx, he asked them some pretty tough questions, and, you know, like, obviously that was him, like, he was cheerleading that, but he still does, like, a pretty okay job asking questions. It's just, he doesn't do that enough. And he also...
I'm gonna have to look that up because, like, I didn't know he actually wrote anything of substance. I've always seen him like as like the commercial man, right? So I'd like to know what he has to say.
He started off as a games journalist. No, he started off doing what we're doing, basically. It's just he did it early enough that he became a big name quickly and, you know, was there at the top. But, like...
Mm-hmm. But there's a line that all journalists walk in however they take up the career or the hobby of it, and that involves working for people who pay you, and those people can be private companies, and so he often falls on a private side of that, but he does still do journalism, and that's part of actually what gives him so much credence and respect, and it's. Yeah, we joke about him because he just seems like a dreadfully main character of Final Fantasy XIV type person, but we also have a lot of respect for him.
Yeah, like, and also I don't think he's perfect. I think he's done and said some stupid shit, but again, like everyone fucking has. My hands are dirty. All of our hands are dirty, but
all of your guys' hands are dirty on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I read. I would say look into, like, his final hours of Half-Life stuff. Like, he does a lot of really good digging into all that stuff of when the original Half-Life came out. Because, again, like, that was when nobody was doing stuff like that. These days, it's really easy to just be like, people are getting all this unprecedented coverage. You're getting all these, like, documentaries that, like, Danny O'Dwyer and...
Oh, bless him, yeah.
Yeah, and, like, the cloth map stuff with Drew Scanlon... And, all these different, like, deep dive things. But he was one of the first people to do that. He was one of the first people to, like, go to a studio and, like, chart them making a game when he did that with, like, Half-Life. So, I really do respect Keighley in a sense that he made a step. He made a step forward in games writing to legitimize it a little bit. And, he is very much a friggin' dweeb. He very much... is still standing on stage in 2020, 2021, whatever, going, finally, people can respect video games when it's the thing that makes the most money in the world, you know, like, and also, honestly, 90% of the time, there's not a reason to respect video games, because it's just stupid shooty McShoot, which, you know, I love it, but also, come on, like, it's dumb bullshit, you know?
Look, it's real serious and for adults now, okay?
There are times to self-proselytize, and then there's what Jeff Keighley does sometimes.
Yeah. So, you know, anyway, that is the thing that's happening. We're gonna probably get more news as time goes on. It's gonna probably be spread out. I guess to kind of piggyback on this wasn't something that was really reported too much, but apparently, I think it was reported by VentureBeat. Apparently, Nintendo will not have a June Nintendo Direct, or at the very least, not a standard one. I guess no third parties are really able to settle on announcements with them, and, you know, there's the whole problem with Japanese business structure where a lot of deals don't get made if they can't be made in person, and a lot of people don't have, like, Wi-Fi at home, and it's harder and harder for people in Japan to do work from home stuff. So It sounds like Nintendo is still going to have stuff to announce. Because we have that Mario stuff, there's all these Mario games, and, you know, Sakurai keeps talking about how they're doing work from home for Smash, and they have stuff. It just sounds like it's going to be like how it's been for Animal Crossing recently, and some of the other stuff that they've announced. Like, they had that, what else did they announce recently?
The Luigi's Mansion DLC?
Yeah, I mean, well, that was really small, but, you know, like, it seems like they're just going to, like, put out, like, little short videos where it'll just be like, yeah, here's, like, a 5-minute video about the new thing when we're ready to announce it.
Like the Mario Maker course world
the Mario Maker
stuff
update,
and all that new stuff.
That one.
They're just going to probably do that, because I bet, like, honestly, I feel like we'd probably have, you know, we had that Direct Mini, but I could have seen, like, a lot of that stuff getting announced on a bigger Direct. You know, they could have had a big, huge Direct that was like, hey, Mario Maker stuff, Animal Crossing updates, all that stuff that was announced on the Mini, and maybe one or two other things. But they can't really do that.
Do you think that they could, you know, make a turn in response to Keighley's announcements?
There's always a chance, but honestly, the fact that Microsoft and Sony are already on that list and Nintendo isn't kind of says a lot. Like,
that probably is true, yeah.
Yeah.
There's always a chance that Keighley could just keep badgering them and be like, look at how well this is doing. Why don't you just let us announce some shit for you? But who knows?
I think in any case they would try to do their own thing in roughly the same time rather than actually collaborating with Keighley, you know, because Nintendo likes to be weirdos and keep to themselves.
Yeah.
That could be true too. They could just, you know, drop something because everyone else is dropping stuff.
Again, it just sounds like there's not going to be a standard Nintendo Direct in June like they would have during E3. They might have another, like, mini Direct that's all first party stuff. Who knows? Like straight up, they said in June they're going to show the ARMS character for Smash. That might just be like a 5-minute trailer, you know? Like, they might just reveal that then. But, you know.
No. They're going to give you a 45-minute tour de force on the history of Slinkies to build up their way to talking about ARMS.
I would not doubt it after the frickin'... The Terry Bogard reveal is still my favorite of one of those because it was just like Sakurai gushing about how much he loves Art of Fighting and all those games, King of Fighters and all of that stuff. It's just like him going wild about Neo Geo, like just wanting to talk about how much he loves all those games, and it's like, no, I want more of that. I want so much more of Sakurai just getting to geek out over stuff he loves.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. And I still will never forget how I was, like, a mixture of amused and, like, extremely angry during the Byleth reveal when Sakurai just spent, like, 2 minutes telling people how to count in binary on your fingers. That was the fucking worst thing in the world. It's just like, yeah, we don't have anything to talk about with this character. It's another Fire Emblem character. Anyway, if you want to count on your fingers in binary for some fucking reason.
He taught you a life skill.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It is hilarious. Those reveals have been, but like, I want to see if he geeks out about ARMS somehow. If he's just like, here's this weird ass game Nintendo put out there that I liked a lot, and just like have 20 minutes of him just playing ARMS before playing Smash Brothers.
Yeah, honestly, with how much games news is coming out, and it's going to be in such kind of a cavalier and casual atmosphere, I think that a lot of people are going to be cribbing notes from those Sakurai videos.
I could see
And
it.
we're going to see a lot of like game developers in these Keeleys during the 3-month-long Keeleys probably gushing about their games.
And not just that, like, I could see a lot of them taking notes from, like yeah, the Sakurai videos, also the, like, Final Fantasy XIV live letters, which, like, I follow the main Final Fantasy XIV channel on Twitch, and I just see it go live at really random times, and then I'd click on it, and it would just be the two directors working on setting up their equipment. So you kind of got to see them, like, prepare for the show that they normally do to, like, try to make it look like lining up their cameras to make it look like their desks were lining up so they were in the same room and stuff like, so that they looked like they were in the same room and stuff like that.
Aww,
it was just
I like that kind of stuff.
really kind of cool. And then them just, like, randomly playing the game over a few days leading up to the live letter, and then you have the live letter, which, you know, you guys already talked about a bit last week, but I mean, it's just like this really cool community interaction that, yeah, I want more stuff like that, and I could see a lot more of that happening as this, like, lockdown kind of stuff extends.
Speaking of, is there other like online events coming up?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, we could talk about that real quick.
I'm interested in more.
The other big thing that is going to be happening, well, we don't have the full details, but EVO, the Evolution Championship Series,
Oh, yeah.
was canceled this year. It is not happening. It was going to happen on July 31st, and it is not now. But they say there's going to be some form of online event this summer. No specific date.
Walker, don't laugh.
No, I mean, it's
no,
laughable.
Walker
Sorry.
should laugh. 'Cause
It's fucking laughable.
we all should laugh. Because
Smash Ultimate.
none of the games that were going to be played at EVO have good netcode except for the fucking, like, 360 and PS3 ports of Marvel 2.
I mean, it's such a wild
I saw some
thing.
people-
I can't wait.
What was that,
some
Walker?
people that were saying, like, this is gonna be the great equalizer of the fighting game, like Arena, because for the first time there's gonna be a bunch of fucking moves that are impossible to react to with the horrible netcode of these games. So there's gonna be a bunch of terrible online-only strategies that are gonna keep getting the pros who have never fought against them.
It's Game & Watch's time, baby.
Oh man, like Smash Brothers is barely playable online as it is. It's gonna be wild.
Yeah, I cannot imagine playing something like that super seriously. Yeah, I mean, I guess I respect that they're trying to do something to keep the spirit alive, but man, it's sad. I understand why they're doing it. It's sad. CEO, the local, semi-local one for us, we were, you know, talking about going, you know, there wasn't going to be a panel or anything, but, you know, like a couple of us in the chat were going to meet up again as usual. Got delayed to December. And honestly, I think that's not even, like, a true delay. I feel like that's Jabali being like, well, I'm going to delay this to the end of the year as best as I can, so that way I can get a refund if shit is still bad. because then nobody can complain, and it'll be the government's fault, not mine. Which, you know what? Good for him, because that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Or no, it shouldn't be like that. It should be we should be quarantined until things are better, and it would probably be better by then. But because the government fucking sucks in Florida, they opened up all the beaches already.
Oh no.
Yeah,
And opening businesses over the next week, right? Too.
Yeah.
that puts like convention managers like Bailey's way out when stuff like that happens. Because he's hoping for, he's looking for someone to just say, all right, it's canceled, so that he can get his money back. And with the beaches opening, you can't now, and it's just like, crap.
Because that's what happened with CEO Dreamland, and that was really unfortunate, because he was basically forced to do that unless he was going to go bankrupt, and it was still a huge money sink, because so many people like pulled out, which you cannot blame them. That was like right when the virus is getting really, really bad, and he still had to put it on.
Yeah, it's important to bring that up because it's basically like the last games event that happened before everything got shut down.
But yeah, it's rough, and I mean, I hope it's fine. If things do somehow get better by then, which, who fucking knows? I don't think a big event like that should be held, even if things are best case scenario. I don't think that something that big should be held. You look at China, where things are getting better. It's been a couple months, and they're still, like, doing social distancing and trying to keep all these people apart. And, this is being held at a smaller venue. This is being held with, they cut it off at a certain amount of people. It's still a small place compared to the Daytona arena. And it would be physically possible for all of those people to be 6 feet away from each other, and you could probably hand out masks and keep hand sanitizer ready. I think that's what they did at Dreamland. They were just like, yeah, there's hand sanitizer friggin' everywhere, and they did what they could.
Yeah, that's most conventions normally, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's what they talked about with, Emerald City Comic-Con up until a week before that show. They were like, the show's still going on. We're really packing the place with hand sanitizer to keep people safe. But the show's still going on, and then a day later, we're canceled. But it's like, you can pack the place with as much hand sanitizer as you want. Nerds are still pretty gross. I bet 90% of the dudes that go into the bathroom are still just going to walk right out, walk past the sinks, because that's what they do.
Yeah. You'd have to put a gun into some people's heads.
To wash your damn hands.
So on the flip side, though, we have EVO Online.
Yeah.
Don't laugh.
They have not detailed how that will happen. They just said there will be some
I'm just surprised that, because EVO is such a community event, I'm surprised there's tournament organizers kind of agreeing to help set this up in any way. And I don't know any kind of streamers, I guess, the stream tech people who would be able to put on a show that would be, I guess it would be similar to EVO in some presentation ways, but not most of them.
I mean, I'll be honest, I don't know if they know yet. So
yeah,
the only way I can see it working is if they make some, I don't know how feasible it is, but make an application that everyone has to install on their computers to monitor and stress test your connection over the course of a whole day to make sure that you can play on something resembling stability.
Yeah, well, one of the things they're doing, they'll probably do is something I know, Wednesday Night Fights in San Francisco has an online version of all their stuff every week. That still goes on, and that's pretty cool. It works pretty well, but they also have to limit it to only people in the Bay Area can actually, in the northern central California area are allowed to participate, because otherwise the ping gets too bad and you get choppy matches, and whoever is commentating just has to play spectator and is not allowed to, you can't play in a match and commentate. You've got to. It's been an interesting thing to watch some of those smaller weekly events turn to online stuff, which is also why Evo just doesn't work, because the commentary is not as hype. I mean, I was watching a stream from like a couple of the big Guilty Gear people talking about it, like Seja and Imagine Obama, just like talking about how, like, we want to commentate these events, but it's so hard to care when it's online because you don't have the crowd hype, you don't have the, any of that stuff that makes the commentary a lot more like excited about what they're watching. It's like when you see something awesome, you're going to go, and you're sitting in your room by yourself, you're going to say, wow, that was awesome. When you're in a room with 10,000 people, you're going to be shouting and excited and blowing up, and just like, it's so much less interesting to watch online than it is to be there in person.
I would agree with that, to be honest, because like you see all of especially all of the shooters and like the MOBAs, and those manage to have like vastly more successful competitive scenes when most of their events are online.
That's true.
But part of that is also the way they are built. Like, the fighting game community has always been more homegrown than a lot of that. You don't, outside of Evo though, you don't get the massive presentations, like the massive esports presentations and money. Like, even when Evo was on ESPN, like, when it was on ESPN, it felt a little less explosive than it normally does. Like I felt less hype because you had the ESPN commentary, and then you had the online commentary, which was like two completely different groups. And one of those was being broadcast to the entire crowd, and people were excited. And then you had the ESPN commentary, which was great, but it didn't feel as exciting to watch as what you were watching on Twitch, because they were two completely different feeds, one of which had a lot more crowd noise and involvement, and the other of which was cleaned up and precise. It's kind of, I don't know, the fighting game community has always been more grassroots than the Counter-Strike and whatnot.
I don't understand, like, there is a certain essence to a live event that you just can't replace, but I don't think it's an insurmountable wall.
Yeah. And also, fighting game netcode is bad.
Well, not only that it's not insurmountable, but also it's really good that they're doing something like this, because having standardized online tournament stuff has been something that they've needed to kind of get together for a long time, but without a direct force making them like this, it seems like this is actually a really, really good time to start figuring out, all right, what technologies can we use to standardize tournament level play in online environments? And now we actually get to see that.
Yeah.
Especially for all the back end and the streaming part and commentary. Like, I think this is going to be really good all around as an event. For structural reasons, maybe not so much for the players, the level of play itself, but for a lot of other things, it's probably going to be really helpful.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about some games that we've been playing. Chris, you wrote down pretty much everything that has been a game. You want to talk about Sakura Wars?
I don't want to talk about it a ton, because Rose is working on the review, and I am really excited to hear her thoughts, and I'm really excited to talk to her about it when we're both finished up, which I'm still early in the game, but I love this franchise. It's always been like dating sim with relatively mediocre strategy RPG to break it up, or later it was kind of like a precursor almost to Valkyria Chronicles, what that eventually perfected, but still kind of the strategy RPG in the last two. This time around, it still has all the dating sim mechanics, the the lips system, where it's just like, you choose your dialogue options with a timer and a bunch of timed mini games and stuff like that to increase your relationship with the characters in the game and stuff like that.
That makes sense. I too use my lips to increase my relationships with many people.
Yowza.
But the gameplay sequences this time are Dynasty Warriors, but if you swapped the square and circle button. So, like, normally in a Dynasty Warriors game, you're mashing on square for your basic attack, and then triangle for your strong attack, and then circle for your big Muso attack. In this one, you're mashing on circle for your light attack, triangle still for your big, stronger attacks, and then square for your Muso attack. And
I'm sorry. Wait. Sorry. What?
yeah,
You. Sorry. Did I like zone out for a second or something? Because I thought we were talking about a dating sim.
yeah.
How did you turn this into a Muso game?
Sakura Wars.
That's how it's always been.
Has always been a dating sim.
So yeah, it's always been a dating sim, but it's also a Muso game?
With it, like, they in the past they were broken up with strategy RPG sessions where you fought demons that were invading Tokyo or Paris or New York, depending on the game you were playing. This time it's Muso.
Oh,
It is
God.
very
Okay.
Muso, and I love it. And it made me go, okay, you know what? All of my favorite franchises, if you could just bring them back with Muso games, it works, because this is a blast. It's fun.
No, you're addicted, man.
It's-
And I am the one saying this.
It's fun.
We have enough Musos. There's enough.
But my favorite part about it is still, like, I like the dating sim aspects of these games, and this one nails it perfectly, just like all the other ones did. My main criticism is the same that Rose has been pointing out on Twitter and in the Discord of, yeah, there are way too many scenes where your character goes somewhere and then everyone calls him a pervert, and it's like, no. And there are a lot of scenes where, like, somebody will be like a monstrous asshole to you, and then you'll finish that chapter and you'll be best friends. It's like, wait a minute. It's a little jarring.
I saw Rose basically specifically saying that like the character would be like in a room or something already. He would be sitting there, and then someone would come in and start doing something like personal or something, and he'd just be sitting there already, and then she'd be like, you pervert, and it's like, I'm fucking sitting here, you're like undressing in front of me, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
And like, it sucks because with your quick action dialogue choices and whatnot, sometimes there is a choice to say something perverted or stare at her boobs or whatever, but it's clearly like, I shouldn't do this, but it's clearly like you aren't supposed to choose this one. Like, I could understand if I chose that one, getting that reaction, but I have never chosen that one, and I keep getting that reaction, and it's like, fuck off. But honestly, I really, really like the writing thus far. I like the mini game they've introduced so far, which is Koi Koi, a fun little card game that's a good distraction, which I've been playing in the background of while I play other games. It's a lot of fun, and, I can't wait to get deeper into it to fully, flesh out my thoughts. But at this point, my thoughts are this. They put Dynasty Warriors into Sakura Wars, so I've just been calling it Sakura Warriors, and I love it.
All right.
And also, you don't have to play the previous ones to understand this one.
I mean, this is like the second one that's come out outside of Japan, right?
Yes, but the anime have come over here, but the anime kind of sucks. But I will say, don't let any of the it takes place 13 years later, it's a sequel thing intimidate you, because they explain everything about the first game that you would need to know in the first 10 minutes. You barely need to know anything to understand this one. You will not get lost.
Well, this is the first one in like 20 years, right?
Yeah, it's the first one since
I
2005.
would hope that you don't have to play the other ones then.
Yeah, the last game in the series was So Long My Love, which was the New York game, which took place in, which came out in Japan in 2005 and 2010 in the US. I love that game with a passion. The localization was not great, but it's still nice to see this franchise back in a pretty good, like, I would call it so far, like it's not the best game ever. I love it with a passion. Like, I am extremely passionate about, like, I love this game. It has
I would assume, Chris,
that I love.
Your biggest guilty pleasure would be a game called Sakura Warriors.
I mean, it's Sakura Wars, not
Right.
Warriors, but, you know.
But this is kind of an ultimate Chris guilty pleasure.
Yeah, it is. I am absolutely loving
I
it.
don't hear an ounce of guilt, to be honest.
Oh, no, there's no guilt. There is no guilt. It is, like, the music. Before I move on, the last thing I will say, the music is incredible, the opening theme is incredible, and it starts blaring during boss fights, and it is frickin' wonderful.
That's good.
The music is great.
Okay.
Yeah. Other than that, I can also say, like, what I've been playing the card game in the background of is while I've been playing a lot of tactical games over the last week, because both XCOM came out and Gears Tactics, and the XCOM Chimera Squad, good game. Complete broken mess, so wait a couple of weeks before you buy it or download it, because it is a complete broken disaster. Like, I got 3/4 of the way through the game, and all of a sudden, any character that I took out of my party wouldn't be able to equip weapons or armor. It's like all of that disappeared from my inventory. And it made the last third of the game really, really hard because I couldn't take anyone out of my party, and all of them had scars with massive debilitating effects.
Oh, no.
And it was a mess. And the game...
You were cursed.
And I will say this, the game hard locks and crashes every couple of hours. I'd have to fully restart my computer. I couldn't Control-Alt-Delete to bring up anything. And not just that, I put it on my laptop, and I can't even play it at it barely runs at the lowest settings. Meanwhile, I installed Gears Tactics, which on my gaming laptop, I can run at full graphical, max settings, and it never dips below 60 FPS. Yet Chimera Squad barely runs, so their optimization is still terrible.
Oh,
Still,
yeah.
It's a great game. Like, I really enjoyed, the character interaction and stuff like that. I really enjoyed a lot of the writing, and the gameplay itself. The breach stuff is a lot of fun to set up, but I just wish they could learn to optimize their games when they first come out, because this should not have been released in the state it's in.
That's hard to hear, but also completely understandable, because everything that I've seen about it when it is running, because you're right, it's sometimes rough, everything that I've seen about it has been really cool.
Yeah.
And very a different take on XCOM that feels really fresh, but also kind of feels like it's plainly ripped from Into the Breach,
Yeah.
which is a good thing, because we need more takes on the micro tactical type games.
Yeah. And it sets up a lot of really good set pieces. Like, as I said, the breach mechanic and stuff like that, and how every character plays differently is great. Like, I have this Australian alien lady who just punches shit. She's the best. And her interactions with all the other characters are like them being like, hey, you should say the word blank, because they just love hearing her say words in her Australian accent. So it's hilarious. Like, it's funny. It's legitimately like some really funny writing that I have enough friends that with like Australia groups that, yeah, our friend group does that all the time, where it's just like,
it feels earnest,
yeah.
right?
It feels like an actual group of people, like a group would actually be. There's some really, really good writing in there, and yeah.
That's funny, because that's what XCOM's always kind of needed, was a little bit more, like, grounded, down-to-earth dialogue to contrast its, like, apocalyptic overtures about the end of life and what the humans are to the disease and, that kind of stuff.
And that's what I love, is the character's entire gimmick is just fucking punching shit, walking into a room. Every other character gets to take, shots at people with their guns, and her options are just, I want to run up and punch that guy.
Hell yeah, you know what doesn't need reloading? Fists.
Exactly. It's so great. She has an attack where it's just an area of effect thing, where everyone inside of this area she's gonna punch, and all of her punches ignore armor. So it's like, it's incredibly fun to use. But yeah, that game, once they patch it a couple of times, is very much worth the $10 it currently costs, and it would be worth the $20 it's eventually going to cost once the sale ends. Like, it's definitely worth that money. It's a lot of fun. It's not a super long game like a regular XCOM. Like, you're looking at maybe a 20-hour, 10 to 20-hour campaign total. That's really well written, really fun, a lot of really good scenarios, like much smaller and interior than previous XCOM games, and like it's an enjoyable game going from set piece to set piece.
Just pretty much any time I saw someone breach, it was kind of the most exciting thing, because you'd get 3 options, like, I can breach this room through the window, or by going through and hacking the keypad, or just through the giant garage doors, and, like, it would give you these options, and every one of them would have a big, like, red thumbs down, like, don't pick this next to it, so every option sucks.
Well,
and
but
you
even
shouldn't
then,
do.
It's okay if you go through this way, you get a plus 25 to dodge, a plus 50 to defense.
Exactly.
Or your character immediately goes into Overwatch or something like that.
It plays off of the XCOM's, like, everything is a bad choice so well, but in only, like, in the most immediate sense, and so you're just looking at your choices like, oh, everything sucks, let's do all of them, and then you just end up doing, like, every breach method at once to cause
like, my
chaos.
favorite thing about the punchy character is one of the side effects you get from some things is, as soon as you go through this door, your weapon is disabled. Or the first person or last person to go through this door, their weapon is disabled. So you just throw the punchy person through there as the last person or the first person in that slot, and you can't disable the fists.
Tactics.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool strategic decision making that went into, like, that game, and it does it so well. I love it. Contrast that with Gears Tactics, and
I was gonna say, how does it compare? You're having a tactical Tuesday week, aren't you?
I have been. I frickin' love Gears Tactics. I'm only through the first chapter so far, but I really like the way your skill tree builds out with, like, oh, if you use this new move, you get an extra action point. So it'll be like, okay, I've got my guy that I can bayonet charge, and when you bayonet charge, you get an extra action point. So I'm going to bayonet charge right into the middle of this group of guys. I'm going to take out the most powerful one first, and then I'm going to throw a grenade, and then I still have one more shot, and then I can hop back into cover. I only downed one of those guys, so I can send in another guy with an execution, which gives me more action points for all my characters. And it is like, I have had rounds of my turns lasting like giving people like 6 or 7 action points by the end because I just got so into the flow of, okay, I can knock that guy down with my pistol so I don't do enough damage to take him to fully kill him so that I can get the execution. And just like, there is a lot of really cool strategic thinking in there. And then getting to the boss of the first act, which is where I ended last night, which was like, okay, you need to make sure your guys are all spread out because there are rockets falling all over where they were at the start of their turn. So they need to move, but you can only shoot the guy from the back. So you need to shoot from one side to get his attention, and then you can shoot from the other, and you keep swapping back and forth and making sure you're not in the circles of where the rockets are going to fall, and making sure you're closing emergence holes as they pop up. And there was just a whole lot of stuff popping up that made me think this game that wouldn't have a ton of strategy to it. No, it is a great tactics game. And just managing all of that stuff and thinking, it is, there's a lot of really good stuff in that game. Like, I am absolutely loving it so far.
That's awesome. I like hearing about this maximalized tactics. Just like, it sounds just like Gears of War, where you're going to do, only I get to play. It's my turn every turn.
It's pretty great. Like, you'll, like, God, just running in, chainsawing a dude, and that makes my healing more effective on one character. So it's just like, oh, hell yes. Like,
is that on Game Pass?
Yes, it is.
Okay, cool.
And the PC version of it looks incredible, runs phenomenally at max settings on my laptop. As I said, like, it looks great, it runs great, and like, it is a great tactics game experience. Like, I am absolutely loving it.
Nice.
Wonderful, thank you. Walker, is there anything that you would like to talk about? What's going on with you over there?
Well, I fell down all of the vice horrible video games that I like playing that you have to play for 500 hours and you don't really make any progress. You're just like learning to do one thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Walker, 'tis the season for Vice.
Yeah, exactly, right? Because all of this quarantine stuff, I was like, well, I have a bunch of free time, and I haven't been good at fighting games in like 15 years because I never had the time and the online sucks. But I'm gonna give it an honest shot to get good at fighting games again.
Aw, that actually warms my heart, because so many people said they were gonna do that, but you're doing it. I want to hear, how is it going?
Well, my first instinct was to pick BlazBlue back up. And, first week of, like, beginner trying to take the game seriously again, you see a lot of progress. But I immediately ran face first into, like, basic incompetence. And in the meanwhile, I started just buying fighting games all over again on PC because I'm done paying for the PlayStation Plus. Especially with, like... Now that they're only giving you one game a month, or like 2, I think, and they're always terrible, like, that's just not worth it anymore. So I bought Under Night in Birth, and I bought Granblue Fantasy Versus, and I've bought a bunch of them since, but I haven't played the other ones as much.
It's Golden Week right now, isn't it? There's like a lot of stuff that's on sale.
And the one I've been hitting really, really hard is Granblue Fantasy Versus, actually, because it's simple enough that, like, it's making me pick up all of the good habits that you're supposed to have. And it's also slow, because BlazBlue moves so ridiculously fast that there's hardly a chance to process it. You just kind of have to have those instincts of, like, block here, punish that, stop blocking right now and walk backwards because you're going to get grabbed. Like, you just have to have that in you already, because if you try to learn them with the super fast fighting games, it's not going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you are really good or you just have the patience of a saint to be destroyed for 200 hours. But also, much more importantly, I rebought DMC5 on PC.
Oh, no.
I don't know why I did it, because I haven't even platinumed it.
You haven't even platinumed it yet.
I just saw her on sale and I was like, it's DMC5. Am I going to deny Capcom my money for this game?
That's a perfectly viable reason.
No
Yeah.
to that? So I just bought it again,
Yeah.
and it's just DMC5.
Yeah.
It's a drug to me.
It's an amazing game. I could run around as
And
Goth
the-
Twink Adam Driver for years and never get bored.
Yeah.
And also never get hit.
Yeah.
The loading times on PC are so fast. You can just be in and out of training mode in like a minute. I got it yesterday and I already have 15 hours in it.
Wait, Walker. Okay, Walker. We love DMC5 here. I think everyone here really does.
I do.
Do you know how many hours are in a day? Because there's like
Who's suddenly 24?
right, and you said you got it yesterday and played 15 hours.
Well, I played some this morning, but yes.
Walker, I need you to platinum that game, and let's talk about Grand Blue. Who are you playing as in Grand Blue?
Yeah.
I'm playing Lancelot.
Really? Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah, apparently I don't really know how to play him like he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be played much more aggressively, whereas I'm like a coward that like always walks himself into the corner. But I'm doing all right. Like most of the people in the lobby that aren't like SSS5, like I can put up a fight now, and that's enough for me at the moment.
Yeah. I just really I messed around a bit finally with Jita. Digita? How do you pronounce it?
Jita.
Yeah.
Jita, I think it's just Jita.
Yeah, I finally like jumped back into that game after a bunch of time in Guilty Gear after the Strive beta. Just made me want to play Rev 2 more, but yeah, I jumped back into that game a bit and messed with her, and she is a lot of fun. I really like that game, and in two things that it does really, really well. Just the fact that its character move list teaches you so much. Like, I love looking up moves and seeing, like, hey, here's where you should maybe think about using it, is such a good thing. Like, that's why, like, Grand Blue is a game I would recommend to a lot of people just for that frickin' move list. And now I want to play against your Lancelot with my Percival.
Well, like, that's actually something impressive. I've actually not had horrible connections in Grand Blue most of the time. Like, once in a while, I get someone who is like 20 frames of delay, and it's like I'm playing on a different universe where every atom is molasses. But most of the time, I get like 4 or 5. I'm very surprised by how good the connections are in that game.
That's about where I like to see it. Like, once it gets above 5, that's where I have trouble playing the ArcSys games. But it works a little better with Grand Blue just because it's a slower game. Than, Guilty Gear, you get 4 frames you get more than 4 or 5, and it's like hard to play. You're losing inputs left and right, but Grand Blue being a slower speed means it still feels good when you get into the 6-7 range.
I also got Under Night in Bed, and I really like that one. But unfortunately, the new PC update kind of broke the game. So it's a little bit impossible to play at the moment.
Oh,
That's a shame. That game is amazing.
It freezes for up to like 5 minutes for me if I alt-tab.
Oh, wow. That's not good.
No, it's not.
Because,
But when it's not frozen, who are you in Under Night?
Oh, Mika.
Yeah.
I always, I have a very defined archetype, which is annoying characters, and if they're like little girls, that's even better.
I'm going to have to bring my chaos with you.
I find it so heckin' funny that's like the tiny girl being the shadow of like big sword man.
Yep, that makes sense. So Mika versus Chaos would just be like all of the annoying
perfect
in
match.
one fight.
Hey, except I got my good doggo.
Yep.
Oh yeah, fuck that doggo. He's a pain.
He's a nightmare. I love him.
I vaguely play fighting games, but I guess I would have a type because my Under Night character's Carmine, and then the Grand Blue fantasy character that I played as the most was who's the chick with the whips?
Fairy.
Ferry.
Yeah.
Fairy. Oh my lord. Fairy's so fun to play as.
I play as Merkava in Under Night because I'm a bastard.
Yeah. But it's okay. Most people play as Merkava in Under Night because most Under Night players are bastards.
Because
Look.
most Under Night players are good people and Markava's.
Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna be honest here. I mostly play as Merkava because I think it's funny that he's all like, "Rah, rah, rah, rah."
Yeah.
That's why.
And if you win, you fly away.
That's true. And also, I like to play Zeltnum because she's pretty,
No.
Gun.
and she's a shoot girl.
I'm still traumatized because I played like 10 matches with an Eltnum, and like every single match would be like 10 seconds of footsies, and then they'd get me in the corner, and that was the round.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. I got perfected 9 times in a row by an Elfelt the other day.
Oh.
Bridal Express, baby.
Perfected.
I just can't figure out that matchup. I can't. Like, no matter how many times I run into it, I just get destroyed by Elfelts. It sucks. It feels so bad, but I love it. Maybe I should change to Chaos as my
Maybe.
character,
That's me so good.
because I love pain.
Yeah, fighting games are cool.
Let's talk a little bit more news.
Yeah, what's the news?
All right. So, there was a big Last of Us 2 leak. A big leak. In the sense that the entire game is leaked, all the plot, everything's out there. We're not going to talk about that. But I think we should talk about the reaction to it and how the internet and how
nuke Ellie or kill Boston.
What?
No, that was like an old like Fallout 4 leak. Like the rumor was that you had to kill your son or nuke the whole city of Boston. And every time that there's a leak now, that's what I think of. Like you have to nuke this person or kill that person.
I mean, I'll always remember when the first of the new Disney Star Wars movies was coming out, and one of my coworkers didn't get to see it on opening night, and me and another one of my friends just kept claiming that Yoda showed up and started talking about his fucked up dick, and we were very obviously joking. And he got, like, legitimately mad at us because he thought that Yoda actually showed up in that movie to talk about his penis. We were just, we were like, dude, it's, like, we said the dumbest possible thing and you believed it. And he was like, I don't know what's going on. I'm like, it's a Disney movie. Yoda's not going to show up talking about his cock. What are you talking about?
Yoda, your father is. Look at Crooked Wiener.
Yeah, it was not good. It was not fucking good. So anyways,
I don't know why he became Jar Jar there at the end, but
so anyway, yeah, Joel in this game, his wiener's out and he's fucking had enough. No, it's just look, it's all out there. If you want to know what happens in The Last of Us Part 2, you can look it up. I'm just gonna say, from what it sounds like in this game, it sounds like absolute dog shit. It sounds like a really bad game.
yeah. Like the way this whole thing happened too has been so weird though, where it's just like at first everyone's like, oh, it was a disgruntled employee who got fired, and then there was a Reddit post that was clearly bullshit talking about how hundreds of people had been laid off, and like, but then today it's like there's stuff like Sony coming out and saying, yeah, we know who did it. It wasn't anyone who was an employee or whatever. It's just such a weird and interesting thing because, like, a lot of the stories, very plausible that a disgruntled employee at a place that crunches hardcore would come out and say, hey, fuck you.
Yeah,
but also...
It's a shame because, we've been... it's a layered conversation that I think we should all have, and the thing that I think is inarguable is that if a company crunches their employees and does not treat them properly, and may we not forget that Naughty Dog was accused of and pretty much confirmed to have covered up sexual harassment at their studio just last year that we all kind of just moved past from.
I feel like we're looking at why this happened immediately instead of probably the more interesting question right now is how did this happen?
I mean, that is an interesting question, but I do just want to finish up by saying that, like, this wasn't by a disgruntled employee, but the fact is that, like, something like this, if it was by a disgruntled employee, I think it would, in my opinion, that would have been a good thing. I think them speaking out against Naughty Dog and, you know, taking direct action like that is something stuff like that needs to happen in the games industry if there's really going to be change, because shit like Glassdoor reviews aren't going to do anything, and you know, obviously people writing articles about like Rockstar did help change some things there, but you know, if those articles aren't enough, if someone like Neil Druckmann is going to just cover up the sexual harassment at his office and is going to keep crunching even after, you know, Rockstar got all that shit for doing that, and, you know, other studios are doing that, like, something big should happen, and dude needs to fucking wake up and stop doing what he's doing and, you know, run a business properly without fucking over his employees. And, I mean, same thing with pretty much everywhere in the industry, you know? Like, but yeah, I guess to continue on with what Solon's saying, though, it is weird. We don't know exactly how this went down. I think it might have been. I think someone said that it was someone from Brazil or something.
Maybe. Sony hasn't really said anything beyond we know who did it, and it wasn't somebody at Sony or Naughty Dog. Like, a lot of it comes down to, like, I'll bring up the Final Fantasy XIV live letter again, just because they started with that and talking about why the 2-month delay on the patch is happening is just because setting up secure infrastructure with home offices having to work from home instead of from the office, they needed to spend weeks setting that up proper, and you wonder if maybe that's a bit of why, is just, hey, Naughty Dog, like, hey, we're just going to continue crunching from home, and we're not going to take the time to set up the fully secure infrastructure that a lot of companies might have to be able to properly and safely do it at home without something like this happening.
Okay, yeah. That's definitely something that could, you know, if of all the things to be affected by COVID-19 and quarantining and stuff, when you have such secure and like safeguarded production like a video game, which you'd think would be, you know, something that you could do from home, kind of, compared to the production of any other kind of like massive scale art, like movies or television shows or anything like that. Yeah, this is stuff that's like, you know, really hardcore trade secret stuff that when it leaks like this can have devastating consequences to the development team, which consists of much larger groups of people than any kind of comparative media.
Yeah.
It's kind of fascinating, actually, just the scales of, The Last of Us 2 leaked is not usually the most abnormal news. It leaking, you know, way early is a big deal, of course, but just during this time, it comes off as like a completely different kind of event that says a lot about games and how they're produced, and makes a lot of things feel really transparent, I guess. Because, you're talking about the home life of game developers as a, you know, cause of something like this happening. You're talking about, I mean, from what it sounds like to me, it's like, okay, someone must have managed to, you know, done like a phishing scam on a dev's computer or something, or like there was some kind of remote access taken place that got The Last of Us 2, the entire game, leaked.
Yeah, it's
Which
a
is
lot.
huge.
It's a lot easier to hack a Dropbox folder or a frickin' home computer than it is to, hack into a secure company infrastructure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's just there are a lot of really interesting things to look at with this, and one of them will always be to me like fuck you for fucking crunching your people so hard, but also, like, hey, what are the side effects of working from home when you probably haven't set up a proper secured infrastructure for it?
Yeah.
I can definitely imagine the Naughty Dog, like, their security team just being like, guys, I told you. I've been trying to... You had to keep production going, huh?
Yeah, there's some IT people that are just like, like they're just sitting there, like, just unleashing this frustrated moan for like 3 days straight after this.
I have been there this last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Alright, one more bit of news real quick. There was the new Assassin's Creed announced.
Yes! I'm sorry,
whoa.
I am
What?
stoked.
Yeah, we're really running the gamut of reactions here. Some of us are like, oh, fuck yeah, and some of us are like, I am on more of the latter side, because I have always kind of disliked Assassin's Creed, but you know what? It's still valid to be excited. It's
Look,
fine.
I am somebody who spent 2 years of my life, or 3 years of my life, working on a frickin' Viking-themed webcomic. I fucking love, like, Viking stuff. It's why, like, God of War, actually, like, I kind of loved that game, just because, hey, yes, Viking mythology, like, Norse mythology is rad, but also, like, Nordic culture is, like, it has a fascinating history, and, like, I hate that so many, like, white supremacists co-opt it when clearly having never read any of it, and, like, the trailer in general made me really happy, like, showing, like, oh, hey, yeah, you're sacking a village, it's like cinematic of Vikings sacking a village as frickin' you've got this British, person talking about, oh, they are savages, they're murdering women and children, as the cutscene that's happening is like showing the Vikings helping the women and children get to safety, where it's just like, there's just this interesting, like, dichotomy of what the Viking cultures actually were compared to what the other cultures, like, portrayed them as, which, I don't know, it's a fascinating thing to me, because it's going to it feels like it's going more what they actually were, and, like, I am
that's really fascinating.
looking forward to that.
Because I guess when I heard about Assassin's Creed and having them do Vikings, I was a little disinterested, because, I mean, I love Vikings as much as the next person. I once had an Icelandic bus driver feed me whale out of a bag of milk. Long story. But, like, there's good stuff there. I didn't know what Assassin's Creed could offer me, since, I mean, it's Vikings. How many times in video games have I sacked a village with a big long axe with a very sharp handle on the end? Like, that's not uncommon, but somehow Assassin's Creed's, like, both sides-ism, they're like, kind of like, oh, well, both sides are good, but both sides are bad, kind of has a lot of interesting play here.
Yeah. Like, it's, I don't know, it just really gets me really fired up for
I could see
what
why.
this is.
Yeah, getting to get another look at Vikings, and then also the, like, Catholic forces pushing against them. Like, that's really fascinating. I could see playing that being really cool.
I'd be more interested in that. My thing mostly has been, like, I actually do think, like, the actual Vikings, like the historical people, were very interesting, but, like, as they usually are portrayed in media, which is like these dumb, hairy brutes with big axes and stupid helmets and big beards. That's like, as just aesthetically, that's like the most off-putting thing in the world to me.
You did just describe my Icelandic bus driver, by the way.
Right, but like, like in the context of like, not like people have a right to look how they want to.
Yep.
But like just in the context that like, I've always found that so like, yeah, big dude breaks things, cool. That's where it ends, and I kind of have zero confidence in Assassin's Creed to go deeper than that.
No, because
Yeah.
I don't know, like just seeing the trailer and how they were portraying some things.
The trailers for Assassin's Creed are always fantastic. The games are like 60-40 garbage.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey, like I wish I was here last week for the podcast because I will defend that game to my death. I
haven't played any since.
I absolutely
Black
am in
Flag.
love with Odyssey, and getting more of that, especially with the way with the things that people have come out to say since the game was the trailer, which is like instead of being like Odyssey where you either chose Alexios or Cassandra and the other would still be involved in the story. But in this one, it is 100% like you are the same character, but either a boy or a girl. And that, to me, like, I don't need the other character I can choose as part of the story, especially since that, to me, was probably the part of Odyssey that I cared about the least in the story it was telling. So I don't know. I'm really they've been saying all the right things about this. Like I absolutely am incredibly excited for it.
I keep meaning to jump back into it because I did really like the series back in the Xbox 360 days. The Ezio trilogy I really liked, and the side games of a 3, like Black Flag and what's the other one, like Liberation, I think it was called.
Yeah.
I also like those as well, although I hate 3. I think
3 is a terrible game.
Yeah, but I really liked Assassin's Creed back in the day, and I never play. I own the French Revolution one and the London one. I don't remember what they're called. Something generic. Convergence, Revolution, Liberty. These boring subtitles.
Liberty and Revolution.
Yeah, whatever. God, this is so boring with the titles. But I do want to get back and play them, and I think I own Origins on PC. I don't even know, because I just buy them when they're cheap and I mean to play them one day.
And that is an incredible game.
The biggest problem I have with them is, especially since Origins, like, Origins and Odyssey could be fantastic games. I haven't played them, so I can't argue that. But I will say, at some point, if you ask me, as a foreigner, I would say when they did the American Revolution, Assassin's Creed started picking the most boring, trite answers to what you would come up with when they asked you, let's make a historical game, where should we set it? Like, Renaissance, how many Renaissance games do we have? 0, like 2 of them, and they're probably both strange, like, Europa Universalis mods.
Yeah.
But like, now it's American Revolution, French Revolution, Victorian London, Greece, Egypt, now there's the Vikings, eventually there's going to be the Rome game, because they're just doing the child's idea of what history looks like. And
Well,
I just
I
wish,
think
like,
what you're
any
getting
of the
at...
Chronicles games got their own big game instead of these settings.
You don't want Assassin's Creed to feel like tourism. You want it to feel like it has a reason that they're exploring this certain time period from the meta perspective of the Assassin's Creed series, which isn't it about, a person who's like literally traveling through time to find answers to a conspiracy theory?
No, it's about
used
being able to
to
experience your ancestors' lives.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're kind of like searching for like the clues to how to defeat the modern version of the guys that they fought. So it's kind of like that.
Okay. because I mean, if I were looking at it from the main story perspective, I'd be a little frustrated too, seeing it just turn into like National Geographic tourism game, but it's got knives in it. Although that would be kind of neat.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, I mean, I understand, right? Like, if you ask the person on the street, hey, historical game, where? They're going to say Greece, they're going to say Egypt, they're going to say London, they're going to say Vikings. And so Ubisoft makes it because that's what's popular, but, like, they did mini games in China and India and revolutionary Russia. Make actual games about those.
I want those. What I like about these ones is they've gotten somewhat away from the giant meta plot. Like Origins was the origin of y'all talked about it last week. It is the origin of the Assassin's Guild. He cuts off his finger, everyone does the weird things. The Odyssey is actually kind of the origins of the Templar Order. It's a really interesting way to that they did it. Like your character isn't necessarily part of that, but it's the origins of how all that came together, like, and really solidified. It's really interesting, which is why I'm interested in what this one is going to try to do with it. Like, I don't know what they're doing, but I appreciate more that it is Vikings and going into Anglo-Saxon England instead of just Vikings pillaging everywhere. But it's like listening to talk about the mechanics is there's going to be like settlement building this time, which to me is fascinating.
But like that's the thing, because like even if you so like, I'll concede this. Like, let's do Vikings. Okay, I can give that away. What's the boring way to Vikings? The only contact that the English-speaking world has with Vikings, the invasion of England. That's the boring answer. Like, if you're gonna do Vikings, do the fun Vikings. Do them like venturing into the like super northern parts of Norway, or like when they went to America. They like, even if Vikings are cool, they chose the most boring, overexplored section of Viking history.
But even then, like, what I'm like interested in partially is like, I mean, those games have always kind of jumped around, so I don't know if it's just going to be England or whatever. Like, it very well could be like, hey, here's you going over to Iceland and whatnot every once in a while and things like that, because like I could see a lot of that, because they aren't going to want to get rid of the boat stuff, because that is still one of my favorite parts of Odyssey is the boat stuff is really fun. And it like, I don't know, it just really has me really interested in what they are going to build from it. Because there are so many areas to explore with, Nordic stuff. Am I going to be like, hey, is my like home settlement going to be in like, am I going to participate in a bunch of stuff in Norway and England and all the way to Iceland, or is it just going to be England? That's like the big question I ask.
There's this great story about Vikings and going to Greenland, and this is the only way that I know it, but there were two major Viking settlements in the south and the southeast sides of Greenland, and they never talked to each other because Greenland is a very, very large country, just a big, massive land. And the historical records show that both of them had nothing but resources to survive, but the southern settlement is what we know today as Greenland in most of its civilized ways. But the native Greenlanders tell this story about the eastern colony of Vikings who came over and had all the fishing capabilities and all of the survival techniques that the natives taught them. And they just died out. And nobody knows why. It's a big old mystery that there is proof that they refused to fish. And since they did not fish, they tried to farm and build off of the land itself, and they couldn't grow anything because you're in Greenland, the icy one, as opposed to Iceland, the green one.
There's something weirdly disturbing about a seafaring people refusing to fish.
I
Yeah.
think the Assassin's Guild could have something to do with it.
I don't know. It's just like there is, because the Vikings did go so far that there's so much they could do with this game, especially with how the open world has been getting bigger and bigger with each one. Like Odyssey was massive. There's so much to do, and most of it doesn't matter. I still like doing it because I find it like really fun to go stealth into an area and figure out the puzzle of how do I take down this fort or whatever. But like I could see them easily doing like, no, we have 2 maps for this one. You're going to have Europe and you're going to have England and Ireland on this one, and you're going to have like Iceland and Greenland and a bunch of small islands, and maybe even the western or eastern US as a thing you can explore. Like, there's just a lot. I want to see what they're doing. I'm really excited, and the last 2 Assassin's Creed games for a franchise that I do love outside of 3, and maybe the Assassin's Creed, I forget what it is, but it's the one where you play as a Templar, and it's like Black Flag, but not as good. It's like, I want to see what they build with. I really am excited to see what they're building with this, especially because, yeah, I did a webcomic for years based on Norse mythology. It's some of my favorite stuff, so.
Maybe we can combine last week's podcast with this one, and maybe Spencer can guide you, Walker, through rekindling your favor towards Assassin's Creed. Maybe just, 3 turned you off really bad, and...
Yeah, no, you know what happened is I just started working for real, and like
I grew up.
Long, man. Like,
I've got a job now. I don't have time for
putting in the 40 hours, like, and it's really hard to justify that kind of length these days.
Yeah, I mean, my Odyssey clock is at like 170. Like, I still play that game. Like, I'll turn it on for a couple hours every week if I'm just wanting to do like something somewhat mindless but fun. It's still really fun to go in and take down a settlement or hunt down a bounty or whatever. It's a good, like, they're really solid games, and I like them more now as action RPGs than I did as the previous ones.
Yeah, forget they're an RPG now.
Yeah.
I am so far behind. I haven't even played a game with crouch in it.
I will say that nothing still feels as good in the series as Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, when you got all the assassin abilities to summon your buddies, and you could just raise your hand in the air and whistle, and 2 guys drop out of the air and fall and murder a couple of people. God, that game felt good.
The boys are back in town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed is great. I'm excited.
Assassin's Creed sucks. I'm still gonna buy it.
All right. Solon,
Yeah, what's up?
tell us about Trials of Mana.
Aw, dang. John, I thought you would never ask.
Well, I'm asking right now.
Oh, thank God. Hey, y'all want to hear about a little game called Seiken Densetsu 3? This is only like the 3rd time on this podcast I've ever talked about it, and will continue to for the rest of my life, apparently.
And I think I edited both of them.
I think you did too. I didn't realize that when I first came to Video Game Choo Choo that it would get me into playing this one like obscure RPG that never came to the West, that I'd fall in love with it and it'd become one of my favorite games, and then in return it would be remade. Like, it just this keeps happening. This game keeps popping up in my life in a way that I never ever expected. Finding out that it was a part of Final Fantasy's like whole thing has been fascinating. Because it was originally Final Fantasy Adventure, became
Wrong.
Secret of Mana. What?
No, it was originally Seiken Densetsu, and when they released it in the US, they called it Final Fantasy Adventure because they didn't think anyone would buy anything that didn't have the Final Fantasy name on it.
And they were right.
Oh,
That's true.
It's the same way the first two Saga games on the Game Boy are called, in the US, are called Final Fantasy Legend and Final Fantasy Legend 2.
That's also true. I would have never played them if they didn't have Final Fantasy attached to them. That works. That still works today.
Yep.
Oldest trick in the book. So I'm playing Trials of Mana now, which is buck wild because the entire reason that I played Seiken Densetsu 3 originally was because it was part of playing all the Final Fantasy games, because Final Fantasy 7 was coming out. And then the remake of Final Fantasy VII comes out, and then the remake of Trials of Mana, this big like 3D version of the old sprite-based SNES game, comes out. And I'm doing research on this because we're gonna make like a review of this game. So I'll talk about it more in depth, like what I love, what I hate about it in the review. But I didn't realize that 27 years ago, there's a very similar thing that happened with Trials of Mana, where it came out in Japan for the SNES right at the like kind of end of the SNES era, because the PS1 era was coming out, and all this production was going towards this little game called Final Fantasy VII. They just didn't bring it to the West. They didn't, even though the predecessor, Secret of Mana, was a big hit. They didn't bring it westward and they said it was because localization was too expensive, which is completely fair and valid. But it was also too expensive and too much work because they weren't sure if the SNES was going to keep going once they dropped Final Fantasy VII. And so there's this weird relationship between this game and Final Fantasy VII that has been raging for 27 years. And there is a very like weird line that you can write that says, hey, we never got to play Trials of Mana in the West, and it's entirely Cloud's fault.
Fucking Cloud ruining everything.
Now, the upside, maybe we can give it back if we write this, bad narrative, this bad faith narrative I'm writing in my head. We can give it back the other way because, 3 weeks ago, Final Fantasy VII R just came out, so everyone's really excited to play some old RPG games. Well, here's another remake of an old RPG game. Trials of Mana is a 3D remake of the whole thing, and it's actually really good. I didn't know what to expect out of it because the demo of it came out like 3 to 5 months ago, I think, on Switch. And it was the same demo that they've been demoing for like 2 years. I mean, I saw this at PAX like 2 years ago, and it was like, oh, it's the same trial. Okay. And the version that we actually have now, it's $50 on the Switch store and on PC? And on PC, yeah. And this version is so much cleaner, and just all of the like play parts of it are really, really clean and nice. And so I went through it and then realized it almost has like it has like half of the playtime length of Final Fantasy VII R, and I just realized, wow, this is a much more manageable time frame than 40 hours of FF7 that was originally 3 hours long. Like how much that was spread out, it was the exact opposite feeling of playing Trials of Mana. And so I got done with it, and I was like, oh, that was a completely normal consumable length of a like 20-hour RPG. And because of how that game is set up, you have 6 protagonist characters that you can choose between, and but depending on who your main character is, the story of the game changes. And I like all these characters, so I want to see how the story looks from other people's perspective. You have like a ton of options to build out their characters in different ways. They want you to play it again in multiple ways. And so the game gives you a ton of options just out the get-go. That's like, hey, you want to play this on easy, normal, or hard? On your first playthrough, you can just get all of the options to play on any difficulty you want, because they expect you to come back to the screen and say, hey, if you want to play it again, here it is. Now there's a hard mode, or now you can just play the story parts, and you don't have to like do all of the quest or do all of the like grinding or fighting or anything. Like they do stuff to give you those tools, and just that level of accessibility, which Final Fantasy VII R doesn't really offer you, was really nice. It was really nice just to see like, oh right, this is a normal remake of a JRPG game. Mm-hmm. This is what they normally look like.
Yeah. So what I'm like enjoying about it, I'm about to get the, or I just got the third elemental, and I'm about to fight a boss that is like a big toothy mouth in a wall that I've game overed to twice.
Oh yeah. This is a action role playing game. It was in 27 years ago, and it still is now.
It feels weird being at this angle, like being behind the back instead of like what's the word I'm thinking of? Instead of like the mostly
overhead,
top-down 3/4 view that you get from the original game. It like makes the bosses feel so different.
It does. Well, I mean, like when I play through it and do successful like runs on bosses, it feels very similar to the original and faithful to the original, but the like optics of it just kind of looks a lot more like an MMO.
Yeah.
When you're like the presentation of it, how it looks and feels is like, oh, okay, I'm playing an MMO, but it's also kind of by myself, and I have no idea what my other AI characters are doing right now because they're behind me.
Yeah, it feels really weird, and it feels like my AI buds are also even better at standing in AoEs and dying than the Final Fantasy VII R characters.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Like, I am whipping out those cups of wishes left and right on this boss, and it's like, these are giant AoEs. It's easy to not stand in them. You are just standing right in the center of it. Stop it.
Yep.
Just stop
really
standing
weird.
on the glowing square in the ground that spears pop out of. God damn it.
It's weird because that exact same frustration you have is the exact same frustration I had when I first played the original Trials.
Uh-huh.
And like this happened in this game, and it happened in the remake as well, where the bosses that I had the most trouble with are the bosses that they expect you to have evolved your character. So every character that you have in your party, your 3-person party, you can evolve them to be either light or dark once they hit level 18. And the bosses that happen almost immediately after they expect you to be level 18, they like crank up the like numbers on them really hard. And if you're not level 18 and you haven't went light or dark side with each of your characters, then you basically just have like this really hard uphill battle that you can win. Like they're not impossible to win, but they are like way harder than the other. You feel like you cranked up the intensity on a treadmill really high, and now you're expending a ton of consumable resources.
Oh, I remember watching your stream when you were going after all the Benevodons.
Yep. At level 38, once you've gone light or dark, you can evolve a second time to go light or dark again. So you can basically make a party of light or light dark or dark characters. And if you don't level up to that third like level of darkness, you end up in these like big boss fights that seem like they might be really cool, but you can't. You feel like you can almost beat them, but you absolutely can't.
You were so mad against that firehead. You were just...
I got so mad. And the moment that I figured out how to get my characters to that, dark level or that light dark level, and I just went to the shrine and evolved them like a Pokemon, I went back into the fight and just wiped the floor with it because that evolution is just so substantial in the game. And so now if I were to play the whole game again, which I really want to do, it's going to be a breeze to get through these bosses now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of easy to forget how important just raw leveling up was in older games.
Yep, that was exactly the feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you have... I want to know, Chris, who did you pick for your party in Trials of Mana?
My pick is, I'm really bad on names right now, but
Sure, you can go with just designations. There's a palette or
the
there's
Magic
a warrior
Lady,
class and a
Magic Lady, Sword Guy, and Valkyrie Lady.
Yep. So that's I think it's what is the Angela? I think is her name.
Yeah, Angela. I could just turn on my Switch now, but it's
right. Angela, Sword Guy, and Reese. Reese, she's the Viking or the Valkyrie lady who showed up in like a fighting game at some point to fight Iori from King of Fighters.
Wait,
I don't know.
what?
I saw it on the Golden Week sale. Reese from Seiken Densetsu 3, before this remake came out, showed up in a fighting game that was like a Square Enix fighter, but also Iori that was there from... I don't know, man. It's weird.
Is it like Air Guys, God Bless the Ring?
No. It's this was like a game like from 2015 or something. I don't know, but there's a huge fan base for Reese specifically in Japan because she is tall and has legs.
Yeah.
She's the very cool character. I also had Reese in my party, but I was led by Hawkeye, the thief.
Yeah.
But that's funny because in my entire story, Angela doesn't show up. Even though I was also playing with the Beast Man of epic fate, the child known as Kevin.
Yes.
And Kevin the Werewolf is delightful.
Yeah.
Kevin the Werewolf that's his name. He's just called Kevin. Like his dad has this big fantasy name and everyone else has got these fantasy names and he's Kevin.
I kind of wish that had been my trio had been Angela, Sword Guy, and
Duran. That's his name. Duran.
Yes. And
this is a 90s game, y'all. They called him Duran.
And Kevin. Or not Kevin, but the other guy, Hawkeye. Hawkeye, because Angela's story directly ties to Duran. It starts out with, like, I chose Duran as my starter, and it's Angela's country is invading his. And then, like, you get Angela's, and Angela's country is invading his. And then Hawkeye's country is invading Reese's.
Yes.
There are a lot of those tie-ins which make me really want to go back and play many, many more times, just because there's some really good scenes between Duran and Angela that you would never see if you hadn't chosen Angela as one of your other party members, because you have to have her dealing with the fact that, oh, my family is murdering everyone you love, and friggin' the king of Duran's nation telling Angela that there's some big secret he has, and also that her mom is wonderful, and she's like, wait, my mom is terrible. She wanted to kill me.
That's wild.
Yeah.
In my playthrough, like that conflict was a footnote because the Beast Nation, Kevin's like dad, just swept them both out because they were so weakened from fighting with each other.
Yeah, there's some really interesting stuff in there, and it's just like, I need to see all the other perspectives in, like, not just like I'll probably end up playing through this 6 times just because, like, who you choose as your main character also affects how the other characters are as your second and third, and how things go there. I don't know, it's really interesting, like, how it's laid out, like.
Yep. And then every time you choose a character, you can build them out in a different way.
Yeah.
Since they each have 4 archetypes, well, that's not even true, because there's like a bunch of like new game, not even new game plus, just like post-game content because they don't want you to do a new game plus, because that's not in the spirit of how Seiken Densetsu works. You just play a new game with a new group of people. But they have a bunch of post-game stuff that you can add onto your save file that, like, follows the, like, final storylines and final evolutions of every character. It's amazing how much is happening in that game.
Yeah.
And it's all voice acted.
Yeah, and it's wonderfully voice acted. I
Yes.
love Trials of Mauna.
There's one of the characters that you can pick is a small girl named Charlotte who speaks in
Charlotte.
baby talk.
Is she speaking in baby talk, or is she from Brooklyn?
No, she's speaking in baby talk.
Yeah,
Chris.
I know.
Baby talk.
It's baby
Folks
talk.
have been unsettled by it, but I'm just like, I don't think it's nearly as bad as the way people are suddenly flipping out that, like, I don't know, it's a good affect. Now, the problem is that all of this is subtitled, including the baby talk, which is actually probably not a good call. Even though you copied and pasted the lines from the translated version that they made, so it's the easiest way to do that is to copy and paste the written baby talk lines to get that, like, affect. But when you're actually reading it, especially if you are hard of hearing or deaf, you can't. How are you supposed to know what these words mean if you've never heard what these words sound like in baby talk?
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't make sense. And so that part is actually, like, the only part in the, like, line dialogue that I'm like, I kind of wish they made a different choice for this remake and didn't just copy and
Like
paste
they just
it.
would put in brackets like speaking like a baby.
Yeah.
I guess something like that.
You might as well, because honestly, like, what makes the game look bad is me posting a screenshot to Twitter and all you can see is the subtitles saying, "Hello, my name is Charlotte. I am related to the warrior of white." It's like, no, like, it just looks really, really bad in screenshot
Have to
form.
find Dr. Wawi.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks terrible in screenshot form. That's the biggest issue, is people see the screenshots of it and their brain just goes, "Oh my god, this is awful."
Yeah, when it's really not that awful. I like Charlotte a lot. She's funny. Because most of the time she doesn't say anything. You're waiting for her to say something, and then she just smiles and does a dance as if that's conversation. which is like a very funny 1993 translation of RPG games into like big 3D.
Also, let's just say the best part of this game is now I have a new dance that I constantly do. I love the really well-rendered innkeeper dance.
It's really good.
Like, just item shop, those guys just boogieing down constantly as they sell you wares is beautiful.
Put that into Fortnite.
Hell
Good
yes.
dance.
It's a good dance.
Innkeeper Royale.
Alright, I think we have time to talk about one more thing.
Oh, what's the last thing, John? Take us away.
Chris, do you want to talk about Streets of Rage 4?
I just got started with it, but it's gorgeous. It feels really good. I like the way moves chain into each other. Like, just the action feels really good. I can't wait to get deeper into it. That's really all I wanted to say, but I'm really liking the way it feels, and I like the way all the different characters feel. I'm really excited.
That thing
to
has
jump in
online
more.
co-op, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
The most important question, though, how is the music?
Pretty good. I'm feeling like I could see why people can maybe not or aren't gonna like it. Like, I can see people going, yeah, it's not that great. I mean, it's sort of like me with Guilty Gear Strive, where I hear it and I go, yeah, kind of but at the same time, no, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm liking it.
Okay.
Okay. Alright. That should do it for the main show, but how about we answer some questions?
Oh, I'm always up for questions.
All right, let's get to it. If you want to send in a question, send it in anytime. It does not have to just be one I ask. Send them in all the time, anytime, to videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com/ask. You'll sound like these folks right here. Bonjour asked, what is the best baseball game? I'm just going to get out front and say Ken Griffey Jr. presents Major League Baseball for the Super Nintendo.
Oh, not the Genesis version? Wasn't there a Genesis version?
No.
No.
What did I play on the Genesis then? Because I played a baseball game on the Genesis.
There might have been another game like it, but no, Ken Griffey Jr. is the Super Nintendo one. Like, I don't think Nintendo published it, but, like, at the very least, I think they eventually, like, tried to make a deal with Ken Griffey Jr. to, like, actually make an in-house Nintendo baseball game that, like, I think got canceled. I think it was for the GameCube.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, no, Ken Griffey Jr. Presents is, like, a classic. That is such a good baseball game. I am definitely not a sports person, but that game is sensational. It's super basic, but just in its simplicity belies its excellence. Do any of you have?
Right, I played World Series of Baseball '95. That was the one that I played growing up.
I'm gonna have two of them that I list. One of them I don't entirely remember if it's the right number, but there was Super Baseball Simulator 5000, I think it was called. I put so much time into that game. But also, the best baseball game ever made is frickin' Base Wars.
Base Wars?
It was an NES baseball game where all your characters were robots, and every time you would throw the ball to a base before somebody, instead of just them being immediately out when you tagged them, you had to play a fighting game.
Oh, snap.
And it was a...
Holy fuck, I remember this game.
Yes!
It's real!
And it is a total...
I thought I
It is a
fucking made it
total
up.
broken shit show of a game. It is not balanced at all. There are characters like the big, tall, human-looking robots that punch and kick like a fighting game character, but then you had frickin' floating ones with guns and shit like that. And, like, if you played it single player, as you progress, you started recruiting different units to your team and stuff like that. It's not a great game, but I fucking love it. It is an incredible broken mess of beauty. And I want them to make, like, a new version of it with, like, an actual, like, deep fighting game. And, it was cool because as you do fights and stuff, your character's HP would get lower, so the next time you got in a fight, you would be at a disadvantage and stuff like that. It was a cool game.
That's kind of incredible. And when you said that, I looked up another baseball game because it was, like, related to that one. There's an SNK game subtitled Futuristic Super Baseball, Now Play Ball. And the title of this is Super Baseball 2020. And it also has robots playing baseball on a big grid.
Chris, I have some bad news for you. That baseball game was made by Konami, so there's never going to be another one like that.
I know.
Oh, no.
Look, Konami has lots of cool shit, but they fucking suck, and they'll never bring it back. Well, no, it will come back. It'll be a
I mean, they
pachinko
can always
machine.
license it to someone else, you know?
I can't wait for Base Wars
baseball.
Pachinko.
Does anyone else have any baseball game?
Well,
Does anyone else have any baseball games they want to shout out?
Before fucking Base Wars. Yeah, well, I think, honestly, like, I've always been of the idea that, like, playing sport games is kind of dumb because why wouldn't you just play sports? For example, I quite like playing baseball. I used to be a fairly decent pitcher. But one of the most fun I've had with any video game is like that first week of the Wii being out, and the baseball minigame in Wii Sports.
Oh, good call. Shout out
fun.
to the baseball minigame. See, that's the thing about baseball video games is that baseball's a very special sport, and I've been watching all of John Boyce's Mariners videos because it's Seattle. And it's a very, very special sport. But the video games means that you get to play every player of the baseball game. Mm-hmm. So there's no point when you're playing a baseball video game where you're not playing the sport. And I like that. I appreciate that a lot.
Like, I mean, baseball is one of my favorite sports to see live because all you did was sit in the crowd and drink beer and eat hot dogs and bullshit with your friends because, nothing's really going on. It's a good social experience. Like, it's not like hockey where you're freaking screaming the whole time because I played way too much hockey, so I'm screaming for all the stuff that everyone's like, why are you excited? I'm like, because that guy way off in the back did something really good that none of you noticed because he doesn't have the puck.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he, like, I don't know. Baseball games,
it's a good question.
Cool.
Yep.
Sports games, I love sports.
All right. Solon, did you have an answer?
I actually still that baseball game on the Genesis. It was like one of my first video games I ever played.
Okay. Shulis asks, what kind of animal villager would you be in Animal Crossing, and what would be your personality type?
That's a deep question.
I think I would be a lazy squid.
Aw, yeah. I'd probably be one of the, like, the fishing otter, but instead of collecting fish for people for my live stream, I'd probably be like collecting like weird artifacts, like those weird like dancing what are the dancing guys called? Gyroids?
Gyroids.
Yeah.
Yeah, you dig up some of those and you give them to me, and I just got like, all right, this will be perfect for my stream. This will be perfect.
I'd be a bunny, and I would be one of those sporty, athletic types, but not like the really annoying ones. I'd be like the one like Dom, who's my best friend and I will protect forever. Just like, yeah, I'm like cool, love working out, kind of, but always like, there for all my buds. Come on, y'all, let's work out. Yeah. Look, I'm going to give you this shirt. I swear I haven't sweated on it, but it's really nice, so I thought you should have it. That's not sweat, it's just water.
How about you, Walker?
Cheers. I think I'd like to be like a weird Easter egg character that only appears at strange hours and like 3 a.m. in the morning.
Ooh, yeah.
Because that's
So Wisp?
my patterns of being outside.
You'd be Wisp.
Yeah, basically.
You'd be our spooky ghost friend.
I respect it.
Cryptid crossing.
I like it.
Let's see here. On another angle here for Animal Crossing, Anonymous asks, would the introduction of the animals wearing pants affect the horniness people experience over Animal Crossing?
No.
I'd say no,
Yes.
especially because I feel like the horniness people get from Animal Crossing is because I thought about this. I read this question earlier and I was thinking about it. I like, obviously I think there is very much a visual aspect that, people just get horny over something they think is cute or attractive. But I really thought about why people got like so especially horny for Isabelle, and it was very much just like I think it's just like a repression thing. I think it's like she's so nice and so helpful. It's just like people want to be taken care of, especially these days. It's so hard out there. So when some cute dog shows up and is like, "Hey, I want to help you out," we all really like that.
Well, I hate to tell you why, but it's because of pants. Isabella's got a skirt, and that's the reason. If you introduce pants to the experience of Animal Crossing, you know what else you're introducing?
Taking
The
off
idea
pants.
of chastity and sin.
Oh.
Because why do we wear pants? That's right, the original sin. Adam and Eve in Animal Crossing.
Oh, shit. That's something to think about.
Yep, that's where it all comes from. That's the devil inside your Animal Crossing.
No, pants are a Germanic thing. The people of the Bible wore togas, didn't they?
No, they wore leaves. They wore furniture in Animal Crossing.
But no, I think you can analyze it as much as you want, but in the end, you're always going to run into the fact that some people and there's nothing wrong with that, really want to fuck anthropomorphic animals. No matter what they're wearing, like, there's an audience for that.
Yep, so I say pants the animals.
Put pants on them? Or take them off?
No, take them off.
Did you mean like pull them down?
No,
Someone's
no,
just not answering, and I kind of
Look,
respect that in its own way, yeah. Alright.
If they're wearing
let's
pants,
see.
they got something to hide.
Yeah. Oh, that is true.
That's what Isabella taught us.
Anonymous asks, why haven't video game choose-your-own-adventure books made a comeback? The e-reader demographic is perfect for these easy-to-produce commodities. Dog, there's all kinds of fucked up video game books. It's just they're all Minecraft and Fortnite books now.
Oh god, there's so many Fortnite choose your own adventure books.
Yeah.
Which is funny because to make something called a choose your own adventure book, it costs licensing fees that most people can't pay, and so they end up changing that name to something else. And so like there's like Minecraft interactive books that are out. And so like you have to have enough kind of cultural clout to say that you're going to make a choose your own adventure book that gets really popular. And then you have to not call it a choose your own adventure book. So like you're kind of working uphill both ways if you make a CYOA because you inherently can't call it that. And so if you don't have an IP attached to your choose your own adventure, there's nothing to do. Yeah. You're screwed both ways. It's because of that like licensing fee and that copyright that's so stringently fought against that there's way fewer choose your own adventure books than there really, really should be. But the other part of that question, the e-reader demographic, is an interesting one because the e-readers as they currently are, they don't really work for that as well as they should. You'd think that they would be really easy to like put a like hyperlink into your EPUB, which it technically is, but because there's so many formats to e-reader books, people don't usually do that just because it's so cost inefficient to have something that's ready for EPUB as it is for PDF, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a really good question. There's a lot of interesting like reasons that literature is not as gamery because of it.
Who owns Choose Your Own Adventure?
Oh, shoot, that's a really good question. I should know that.
Isn't it? Oh God.
It's like fucking Scholastic or something.
Isn't it like? I think it's Scholastic. No, it's Bantam.
It's secret. It's Bantam. What?
Bantam. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Bantam.
No, it's ChooseCo. That's what it's called. That's why I thought I knew the name. ChooseCo, the Choose Your Own Adventure company, owns the rights to Choose Your Own Adventure. And this came up because of the Black Mirror Netflix Choose Your Own Adventure got like in huge legal trouble by ChooseCo, which is kind of some like weird like cyberpunk shit that the evil corporation ChooseCo has banned your literature from existing because they own choices.
Wow, what a weird thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bantam was just the publisher.
Okay.
For ChooseCo.
ChooseCo.
No choices allowed. ChooseCo. Choose your own name for Choose Your Own Adventure books. We chose ours already.
Fuck.
I guess that's a part of it, I guess.
Yep.
You get to choose everything about the book. You know, the ultimate Choose Your Own Adventure book is the book that you write yourself. Yeah.
Just writing your own, yes. But writing them down essentially solidifies some choices. So the real Choose Your Own Adventure is saying that you're going to write a book but never writing it.
You're constantly
God.
choosing, because you're always making up something different. I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
You write the first quarter of it, and then you choose a different adventure.
Okay. Yeah. All right, final question. Again, send them to videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com/ask. Harlequin Wheels asks, which video game character has the worst cooking channel on YouTube, but keeps going due to a cult following that keeps tuning in to see them cook it very badly? It's...
Oh my god. Wow. There's that K's cooking channel that makes really bad food on YouTube, but keeps going because they're popular. And I don't know if she knows that why people are watching this channel. She just knows it's popular. Who's the video game character that's as oblivious as the really nice cooking lady on YouTube who makes very, very bad food?
Yeah, they have to explicitly be oblivious to how bad they are, because I was going to say, like, oh, maybe like Duke Nukem or Travis Touchdown or something, but they don't care, and they would just be like Travis would just be like, hey, I'm going to make a fart sandwich, you know, like, he knows what he's doing.
He totally pulled that shit. The easy answer is, of course, always Noelle Vermillion, because her cooking is so fucking bad that it's actually never been depicted in the game series.
Yeah, I mean, we can just make a bunch of jokes about all the, like, anime girls where the joke is that they're bad at cooking, like, all, like, Yukiko and shit. Like...
But she's also fulfills the oblivious thing, because her boss hates her with such a passion that he actively dreams about killing her every night, and she still thinks they're friends.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Blaze Blue's story is fucked.
So would all the YouTube comments just be like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, but she's still getting like 2 million views?
This fucking sucks. This is and she'd just be happy that
messed up.
people are watching her, probably.
I could see the surf bots having a YouTube channel of them cooking, like whichever chef surf bot makes the bonds their food. I could see them having a cooking channel and just constantly fucking up, and then the bonds just always have to order pizza and shit.
That's a fun one. I've got easy answer to this for me is Nanami from Suikoden 2, whose entire gimmick is that she is that she's terrible at cooking. But yeah, that's literally her gimmick, is that her food is awful, but she thinks it's great. There's a cooking mini game in that game, which is like an Iron Chef style. Everyone judges your food that you make. And like, if you mix like certain things with, I think it's salt or it might be sugar, it'll always give you like Nanami ice or Nanami salad or whatever. And that will always get a 0 from everyone, except for the dog character, which will give it a 10 out of 10. But pretty much like, and then literally there's a scene in the visual novel that they made that's a spin-off of her cooking for people and everyone just like passing out from how terrible it is.
Oh no.
So, but like, she thinks she's great at it, which is always kind of just the really entertaining thing. But yeah, it's going to be Nanami from Suikoden 2. She's going to have a channel. It's just going to be like, I hate being part of this war, so I started my YouTube channel to show off my cooking skill. Please follow my recipes to the letter. They are delicious and incredible, and then you eat them and pass out.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you got one?
Yeah, I've got one, and I needed a character who isn't like just completely oblivious, but just someone who really sticks to like cooking by their own book that they follow, but also someone who's not necessarily tech literate enough to like look up themselves on YouTube. They're just making videos because they want to make videos because they're hoping that they can help people, right? It's a very innocuous feeling thing. They just want to help, people cook and watch food get eaten. And so they also need someone to upload, is the other part. They need like a wife guy who just like always eats the food with them and enjoys the cooking genuinely, even though it doesn't look appetizing at all, and helps with like, the YouTube side of things. So I'm thinking about a relationship in the Mushroom Kingdom. I think that Daisy would have a YouTube channel where she cooks really poorly, and Luigi is right there with her.
Aww.
Like, enjoying the food and, like, yeah, let's put this on YouTube, and he does all the like online stuff so that she can keep, running the castle, and she puts us online for her servants, and like she's trying to help out while being quarantined inside of the castle, and it is definitely not helping nearly as much as she thinks it is, or entirely helping in a completely different way that she also doesn't expect. Worst cooking channel.
This also establishes Luigi Mario as a wife guy, so I definitely support this.
Luigi Mario, that's his last name.
That is, yeah.
Yeah.
My
It's
God.
Mario, and Luigi Mario.
Luigi Mario.
They're brothers.
Well, I think that does it for this week's show. Thank you lot for being on. I almost said 4, but I am of the 4, so I'm not thanking myself. But thank you 3 for being on. Of course, if you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at VGCC. Our Tumblr is videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com. We have our Facebook page, Video Game Choo Choo. We have our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/videogamechoochoo. Check all our stuff out. We're always posting new stuff every week on Friday. But if you want that stuff a whole week early, it's patreon.com/VGCC. You get videos a whole week early. You get our anime podcast, Chuchigatari, a whole week early. You get all kinds of good content. We're going to be getting new stuff up there real soon. So don't you worry, there will be more content available real soon. It's just $3
Oh yeah,
a month.
this is the week of Chooch. Like,
It is.
there's so much coming out this week,
For real.
including our Final Fantasy VII spoiler cast, and a couple of reviews are coming out, and the videos that we just made with talking about Final Fantasy Brave Exvius on the phones. There's a lot. There's so much.
There's so much. There is so much. If you want to hang out with us on the Discord server, just type in thegamezone.zone into your web browser, and that'll bring you straight there. It's a great place to hang out. We talk mad shit, and it's great. Of course, I'd like to also give a little shout out to Melt Channel /Magic Circuit for our theme song Crush off of the album Magic is Real. If you want to listen to it, go to Bandcamp. It's meltchannel.bandcamp.com. And also, if you want to listen to the new stuff, just look up Magic Circuit on Spotify. It's real good shit. It's real good. Highly recommend. Highly, highly recommend. Would you all like to plug your own stuff? Solon, how about you first?
Hey, yeah, if you want to see what I'm up to, I'm always online at twitch.tv/SolanFace. That's where I do all my live streams. I also have my Twitter account at SolanFace.
Chris, how about yourself?
You can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/JudgmentScythe. And you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/ChikatsuStar. I'm going to be starting up Final Fantasy VII Hard Mode this week. And also, I just wanted to say, because I forgot to say it during the podcast, Tristan put out a really spectacular piece on Guilty Gear Strive,
Yeah.
which explains not just my love of Guilty, which explains a ton about Guilty Gear as a franchise, if you've ever wanted to get into it, as well as Guilty Gear Strive. It's a phenomenal piece, and you should read that.
Mm-hmm. And Walker, how about yourself?
If I can manage myself to get away from the MC5 in the coming months, I am on Twitter at punkperfed.
Alright. And I'm on there, John_Machonsky, JOHN_MICHONSKI. And that should be it. I'd like to thank you all, and we'll be back next week with another episode of the Video Game Choo Choo podcast. So long!